Duke, Miami, as we continue along here. We got Miami, 8-point home favorites, 59 the total. I do have to admit I'm a little bit worried for Duke. I mean, that was the big rivalry, the bell game last week against North Carolina, the Victory Bell. There we go. The Victory Bell against North Carolina. Tough loss for Duke. I mean, right in it from start to finish. And North Carolina clips them with a touchdown with 20 seconds to go to get the victory against Duke. Can they pick themselves up off the mat? I mean, that's a rivalry game. I mean, they want to beat North Carolina and vice versa. Can you pick yourself up off the mat, get back on the beam again, and get ready for this game against Miami? So situationally, it may not be easy for Duke, but I'm not ready to lay 8 with Miami. I know that. No question about that. Not in this spot. Credit to them. They finally had one of their better performances of the year, but they're still a mediocre 3-3 straight up, 2-2 straight up at home, 1-3 against the spread at home this year. I know they beat Virginia Tech 20-14. Still didn't cover. They blew the cover late. Virginia Tech, I think they fell asleep in the fourth quarter, and Virginia Tech finally got some offense and came through the back door in that game.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, 20-14. They were a cover. They looked like they were going to get an easy blowout win cover, and then they just fall asleep in the fourth quarter. You know, they're now 0-5 ATS, their last 5 games. They haven't covered a number against an FBS team. Every FBS team they've played, they haven't covered the number, Miami. 0-5 ATS against the FBS. Southern Miss, A&M, Middle Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. Didn't cover in any of those games. And the offense is still a work in progress. Not many quarterbacks. I shouldn't say that. There's not a ton of quarterbacks that have disappointed me based on my expectations coming into the year than Tyler Van Dyke. I really expected him to be very good. Hasn't always been the case. So I'm still gonna probably play Duke here. I don't love it. They're coming off a crushing rivalry loss to North Carolina. I'm worried about whether the focus is there. They can get back on track, but I ain't laying 8 with Miami and a team that's failed to cover in 5 straight. That's just not going to happen. So it's got to be Duke or pass for me. Conor, what do you think here?
Yeah, that was a rough defeat for Duke, especially by getting their ass kicked the last few years by North Carolina. You know, they still covered, but not the win there. You know what? The only thing is good they're at. You know, I just think they can do well here. The problem is their defense. But can Miami? I don't think their offense has done really great with Van Dyke, like you mentioned. This Miami team, then they go out to that lead, and I was shocked by the score because I didn't look. I saw it just 2014 at the end, and I go, "What the hell?" So, and you mentioned the non-covers by Miami. Is that comes now? I don't think so. I know one thing: Duke might not stop too many people, but they can score. This offense is pretty good, and I'm not that high on this Miami team. So initially, right now, too, Ian, I like the points here. And with that Duke defense, maybe this total gets over. I don't know if it's too high, but I mean, that'd be my lean just here today.
Yeah, I mean, Miami, we've seen Duke struggle defensively against Kansas and North Carolina. They played good defense pretty much outside of that, but those are 2 good teams, 2 good offenses. So I don't think you can penalize Duke too much for that. And Mike Elko had a tough job he inherited here because Duke was just in the sinkhole after last year. And he's done remarkable stuff with this team. I mean, they're 4-3. They actually have a winning record. They're only 2 wins away from bowl eligibility. And even their losses, right to the wire with North Carolina, right to the wire with Kansas, Georgia Tech overtime. I mean, the 3 losses were all 8 points or less, single possession, right in the game. It's been a great coaching job by Mike Elko. Got to give him a lot of credit. No question about that.